Worries on my mind, it's been a tough week. My life feels a void, there's something that I need. My supplies on the table, I grab a comfy seat. I need to craft to put my mind at ease. Crafting changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in full control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new. Crafting's good for the soul, it's so true. Bringing beauty into the world through. As I craft, my spirits start to climb. It's not just a pastime, it's a state of mind. It's more than just a hobby, it's a way of life. I express myself, everything is feeling just right. It changed my life, it mends my soul.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Hey, Gifted Crafters, welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. And good morning, everyone. I see everyone in the chat. Oh, a couple people saying that they're hungry, and I see people from all over the place. So we're testing out some new technology today, so you may see a little bit of some quirkiness going on, but that's okay. We're just testing some things out to make things better for you guys. Awesome. All right. So I see people from Richmond, Illinois, Maryland, Texas, San Antonio, Texas. Hi. Hello. 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 Okay. Good morning. And guys, it's TGIF. Woohoo. Awesome. It is, yes, Friday. We made it. And boy, it's been a week. I can tell you. It's been a week. I had a super busy day yesterday, all over the place, and the rest of the week it's just been pretty intense. We've had so much going on, but we've made it. It's Friday, so we can relax a little bit, at least after 5, right? Awesome, awesome. Yes. Oh boy, we got some demands over here. Let's get right to it. I think that everyone is a little bit hungry today. So yes, let's get that food truck rolling over here. I think we need snacks. Yes, it is Friday and we need our snacks. So our virtual food truck has arrived, guys. Go ahead and get all of your snacks. I see everyone just jumping up. Stay in a line. No cutting the line, Sassy. Okay, everyone, stay in line. Get your snacks. We've got everything for you here. Danishes, coffee, bagels. We even have soda. And for the healthy guys, we've got the kale and the carrots. So don't forget to get all your snacks. Oh my goodness. Yes, we all woke up so hungry today, right? Well, go ahead and grab, if you haven't already, go ahead and grab your little favorite of whatever it is that you like to drink in the morning to get yourself up and going. Go ahead and grab that, get into your little cozy little spot there. And okay, if you need me to pour you a cup, yes, let me pour you a cup here, okay? I'm going to pour you a nice little cup of some nice hot coffee, and I'm going to give it to you in the GiftsHQ mug. So go ahead and drink up, get nice and cozy and comfy, and get into your favorite spot because we're going to have a fantastic time. Alrighty, yes. Okay, I think, is everyone settled down now? Cheese Danish, please? No problem, Jackie. It's on that food truck. And there's no calories, so you're all good. Coffee, lemon bread, yum. And cookies, okay? Some people want cookies in the morning. No problem. We have all kinds of things on that truck. Oh, yum, monkey bread, yes. We even have the monkey bread, yes. We've got that too. Alrighty, is everyone all settled in? I think the chat's starting to kind of settle down, so let me just grab a little drink. Yes, Becky wants donuts and bagels, yummy. Alrighty. Okay, I got my little swish here. Let's see how long that holds me up for, right? Okay, guys, I think we are ready to go. So what are we doing today? What are we talking about today? So first of all, if you're new to the channel, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and we just have this morning show just to kind of get ourselves all inspired and going in the morning so that we can get our craft on. And since it's Friday, we're going to jump start it so we can get ready for this whole weekend, right? So we want to be able to focus on our projects and get them done. So we like to talk about all kinds of tips and tricks and all kinds of different crafts, from sewing and crocheting and knitting and decoupage and anything you can think of. We will talk about it. We will share tips, tricks, and ideas. So jump into the chat and make some friends because we have an awesome community out there. Alrighty, so let's see. I wanted to do kind of something really simple just to kind of get us going. And we kind of touched upon this before, but I want to give you some more ideas of something that you can do. And I ran into my local Walmart, and they had these towels. They're like little hand towels for $1. And I don't know about you, but we use a lot of these at the house. You know, they're just $1. They were on clearance. And they're simple little hand towels, kind of plain, boring. It's got the little tags and everything on there. It's the Walmart brand. It's mainstay. It's 100% cotton, which is kind of nice. So I went ahead and I bought a couple of these, and I thought, you know, these are kind of boring to kind of have. They're just plain. I need to kind of liven it up a little bit, right? You know, you just got to do something just a little bit different every once in a while, right? So this is something that's definitely easy to do. And it's, you know, just something that gives a little bit of splash of color into your kitchen or, you know, wherever you have these. Some people just kind of put them in their car just to have to wipe down. But I wanted to kind of make something a little bit cute, have a little bit of flair, and give it a little bit of color. So we're going to do a project like that. And I'm just going to kind of show you really quickly on how you can do that in like less than an hour, right? So let's see. Before we get into all of the steps and details on the towels, let me kind of move over to some stuff that we're going to talk about. And actually, I'm also going to talk to you about something that is on the towel that some people may not be aware of. Hey, 100 Proof Quilter, how are you? Guys, she's got a channel on YouTube, so check her out as well. She's awesome. You're doing a great job. Congrats on that. Keep it going. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a little bit about something that's on here that a lot of people really don't know about. So I found, did a little digging and found some research on this. So I'm going to let you know about that one in just a minute here. But first, before we do that, let's kind of clear up one of our segments here, and that is our crafting news. Oh, Nancy, did you hear about the news? We're going to talk all about that, Faker McFake. Let me just bring this up here. So let's get into our crafting news because Faker McFay brought up our very first item that is in our crafting news. So let's bring that segment up. Okay, so what is Faker McFay talking about is something that I'm about to tell you right now. Michaels. We all love our Michaels, but we also miss our Joannes. Well, we've got some big crafting news out there that's going on. So if you've been missing Joannes lately, we've got a little bit of good news for you. So Michaels is stepping up in a big way. They've officially taken over Joanne's private label brands. And that includes some of the brand favorites like the Big Twist yarns. And then after Joanne's filed for bankruptcy and they closed all of their stores. Okay, so they're going to be now carrying some of their items, which is pretty cool. That's what that means for us, because that's kind of like, well, what does that mean? Well, they're going to be carrying over 600 new products, and they're going to bring them to their stores and to their website. And when you think about that, think about like their sewing machines, the Eloso irons, their new yarns like loops and threads. They even going to carry some of their classics like Red Heart, Lion Brand, things like that. They're also planning to carry Joanne's Big Twist. And that's going to be probably later in the year. So they've been expanding their fabric sections as well. So they're doing that to hundreds of their stores. So guys, that's a great plus for us because I know we've all been missing our Joannes, and Michael's stepping it up to kind of fulfill that void. So that's really awesome. And they said that they are welcome to, ready and able to welcome the Joanne fans with open arms, and they want to make the transition very easy for us. So they're even launching a special shopping page just for that. So keep your eyes and ears peeled in Michael's if you've got it nearby, and maybe you stop by every once in a while to check out what they have, because that's going to be happening pretty soon. So that's something that they just announced, and yes, isn't that exciting? So really, really happy about that. So we now have another place, and I think a lot of people have Michael's pretty close to them. They're pretty laid out all over the U.S. So plus for us, great news that we're going to be able to find some of our supplies in another location. So yes. Let's see. No, Flo says no room in my Michael's. I hope they will expand their building. Yeah, you never know, because they're probably going to rethink the layout of their store and what's selling and what's not. Maybe take some space from some other things. So who knows? We'll see what's coming, but pretty exciting on that. Okay, let's move on to some other news. We're going to go over to Winchester, Virginia. And I know a lot of you guys are in the Virginia area, so keep an eye out for a tour bus. Not for a rock concert or anything like that, but this is a bus full of quilters, and they're heading to So Chaotic. Now, this is a new kind of shop that just opened. It's only 8 weeks old, and it's already making waves with its rainbow wall of threads, beautiful fabrics, and they've got some warm, welcoming vibes, which is really exciting. Now, Kathy Warner opened the shop with her daughter Jen and her dear friend Nancy. Not me. Now together they've really created a cozy space, and where you can kind of touch the fabric, you can meet fellow crafters, you can even take a class to stitch your own masterpiece. So they've got some beginner friendly pillows, some colorful wristlet bags, and there's even something for every level crafter, which is pretty cool. But it's not just fabric and thread that they're going to have there. It's all about the connection that they have with people. So Chaotic is a place where people come to laugh, they come to learn and lift each other up. It's so whether you're just popping in to just kind of buy a little fat quarter, or if you're just staying for an entire class, you'll leave really inspired from that shop, which is really nice to hear. I think that's just amazing that they have these places that, you know, where you're able to kind of just go in and you're just come out feeling so inspired and so new. I think every little area needs a little shop just like that, don't you? Awesome. Okay, yes. I think that is all we have. It's kind of short and simple on our crafting news, right? Okay, so that is our crafting news, and I hope that you guys enjoyed that little segment and are able to kind of grab some of that information and use that to your advantage if you're in the local areas. Now, remember, guys, if you have any news, a shout out for a birthday or anything like that, go ahead, look at the link below and go ahead and just, let us know about it, because we would like to announce it for you if you've got an event going on, or just something, it's your birthday and you want everyone to say happy birthday on your birthday. Let us know, because if we're on the air, we'll be able to announce that and let everyone know. So don't forget to fill out the form and let us know about it. Okay? Alrighty. So I think we're ready now to kind of jump into our projects and learn a little bit about everything that we have here. So let's see. I'm going to start off bringing in, where did I put it here? There we go. So this is what I did. I know we talked about prairie points, and this is something that I said, oh, look, you can kind of put some prairie points on the bottom of a towel and just make it a little bit flary to add a little bit of color. Now, this is just my little prototype. So this is something that I kind of do when I'm just kind of figuring out what I want to do. So you've got like raw edges here. It's not really done well. It's just kind of a prototype of this is how I kind of think as I go through kind of projects. Like, what can I do? Can I put it this way? Can I put it this way? And so I don't like to use like the perfectly done stuff. I'm just kind of creating as I go. So let's see. Oh, it's actually your birthday today, Betty. Awesome. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, guys. Wish everyone Betty Bargain's birthday today. So wish her a happy birthday. And we've got some birthday cake for you in that food truck. So get yourself a slice, okay? Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. So what I've done here, oh, thank you, Robin, for supporting 100 Proof Quilter. Yes, guys, go ahead and subscribe to her channel. She's got a channel out there, and she's awesome as well. Okay, so I just went ahead and I put some kind of, these are not real full prairie points because I've got raw edges on here. I just had some half squared triangles that I was using just to kind of prove out my method. And I just wanted to show you guys, but we're going to do one together. So I just wanted to pull this as my little prototype to just kind of see if this was actually going to work. And I think it's going to be really neat. You can add splashes of color. And this is just on a little hand towel, but you can imagine this on a regular full-size kitchen towel. Right, you can add things on the bottom, and I think prairie points would be really cute. I wanted something a little bit colorful, but you've got the 4th of July coming up, so you can do red, white, and blue down on the ends on your little towel. That's maybe for the 4th of July. Wouldn't that be cute to kind of hang there, right? You can do this for all kinds of holidays. If you got Christmas, anything, you can match up the colors of your prairie points with the towels, or you can bring out sparks of colors that's either circled around the holiday or just kind of, colors just to pull the things out and, splash some color around. So something that's really quick and easy and you can do. So before we do that, let me show you a little bit about the towels themselves. Okay. So first I want to talk about this right here. A lot of people probably didn't even notice if their towels had this. So this is what they call a Dobie border, okay? And a Dobie border is something that you'll find on some towels. Some towels do not have it. The towels that have what they call a Dobie border are considered a little bit more luxury type towel, right? Okay. And there's a reason for that. And some people really didn't even notice that that is even there, or if there's even a purpose for it. Some people thought, oh, just a cute little decoration that they put on it. They actually have a purpose on here. And, it's quite interesting because we've seen these, all our lives. Everyone sees towels all the time. And it's probably something you never even noticed and never even knew that they actually had a purpose. So I'm going to just share some tips with you that I found as I was digging through. So this, again, it's called the Dobie border, and it's found here on the towel. And what these are stitches that are, you know, more woven. The fibers in here are more woven closely together. So this kind of helps with fraying. And it keeps the edges from kind of curling over. So there is that purpose for them. Now, since they've put this on here, it helps the towel itself last longer than those that don't have it. So that's why these are considered a little bit more luxury than your standard towel that doesn't have one of these. Because just having this Dobie border allows the towel to last a little bit longer. So if you have two towels that you're comparing and they're the same price, and you see one that has the Dobie border and the other one doesn't, this one's going to give you more bang for your buck because it's designed to last longer than a standard towel would that doesn't have the border. Because the fibers are more woven close together, it's keeping, the edges from curling over. So when you wash it, you know, sometimes you get those curls that happen on the edge here. This is designed to kind of not have, it's not that it's not going to happen, it's going to resist it. So it's most likely that it will not happen, or at least it won't happen for quite some time. So that's why it's designed for it to be lasting longer. It's got kind of a little structured area. Some designers do this for branding, for embroidery. It also increases the absorption rate on here. So it will absorb more because of this Dobie border. It helps to retain its shape. And some people say it kind of acts as a hanging loop. So they kind of put a little loop and they hang it on there as well. So those are just some of the things that are used for the purposes of this border. And so I wanted to kind of bring that out to you because I thought that was pretty interesting. I at least never even looked at this as being some type of a design that's specifically put on towels with that type of purpose. You know, a lot of people just look at it and they think, oh, this is just a design that they put on the towel, and it is not. It actually has a purpose on there. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I wanted to bring that out to you guys. Okay, so first thing we're going to do on this towel is we're going to decide where we want to put our prairie points. And remember, you can do this on a larger kitchen towel if you have a white towel and you want to bring some splashes of colors and things like that to it. You can certainly do that. And so the first thing we want to do once we've decided where we're going to be putting it, we're going to go to that end. And I think I'm going to do it right underneath here under the Dobie border. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to grab my seam ripper. And guys, we're going to have to seam rip the edge right here. Just seam rip this open all the way across. Just open that up. Okay, you're going to open this whole bottom piece. Just go in here very carefully and pick out a couple of stitches. And then on the ends here, they're going to be a little bit difficult because this one's really reinforced in here. But go ahead and just pull these out slowly and you'll be able to seam rip this entire section here. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take, some patience there, but it can be done. Just be very careful not to rip the towel itself, right? You're just ripping apart the stitches that are holding it together. And then once you do that, it's going to expose a couple of things on here. And I've got one because I was trying to see if I can save some time so that we don't go over the hour. So I went ahead and I seamed ripped this one open. Of course, when you do that, you're going to have the little tag that's going to come off. And they have this little cardboard thing that they always put in there. I've never understood that, but it's just got the little barcode and things on there. But once you seam rip it open, all of that stuff falls out. So if you're selling these, that's the opportunity for you to put your own label on here. So you can do that and tuck that into place too when we sew it back up. So don't forget to do those. Okay. So once you've done that, you're going to just undo this here. Can you see that? Yes. Okay. I'm going to open this up and you're going to see all of this exposed on here. Okay. And that's where we're going to start working on our little towel to put our prairie points and then kind of sew it back up, giving it a finished look. And that's the trick, is trying to be able to build it back up to give it that finished look so that it looks like this is all put together and it was always there from the beginning and you didn't have to do anything to it. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, first off, you got to have your prairie points, right? So how did we make our prairie points? If you recall, very simple to make. You just have to take, this is a little charm pack, so I've got tons of these. So I know I've used these a lot for my prototypes, but that was the whole point of it. I got these on some kind of deal, and they're not like my favorite colors or anything like that, but I needed something that I don't like too much, because what happens is then I'll get a charm pack and I don't want to cut it up because I think the fabric is just too pretty, and then I don't want to waste it. Doesn't that happen to you? So I tried to just pick up a charm pack that, you know, it's got all kinds of different colors, so I can try different colors out, and they're not exactly my favorite. They're just cute. They're okay, but I won't mind cutting them up. And that's the whole trick there, because if I get a charm pack that, you know, I like, I'm not going to want to cut it up unless it's for a real project. And so I struggle with that, guys. That's a real struggle here. You definitely have to have some fabrics that's kind of not too much your favorite, and you can kind of use that as your prototype to be able to kind of be creative and try new things out. You've always got to have that on hand. So I've got a pile of that, and I do have some other scraps too. But that's what I would do here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one. I've already made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here. So I'm going to make one more with you guys. So let's go ahead and just iron this out, just because I like to start off with a flat piece of fabric here. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of fold it in half. And this has those little peaks and valleys on here. And you never know about the way they cut these. So I'm just going to finger press this here. And I'm going to grab my ruler. And I'm going to line up my ruler because I want this to be 4 inches. So I'm going to line up the ruler at the 2-inch mark on the fold. And I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and straight. And then I'm just going to grab my rotary cutter here. I've got one here that I'm using. I always kind of have a hard time with this one. There we go. Let me line that up again. Okay. And I think I'm lined up there. Then I'm just going to go ahead and cut the excess off. So we'll cut that piece off. And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to fold it the other way. Again, peaks and valleys, so do your best to line that up. And then lay it on a flat surface and just kind of finger press that the other way. And then you're going to take your fold and put your fold underneath your ruler and line it up with the 2-inch mark. Get that all lined up, and then grab your rotary cutter and go ahead and cut the excess on that. Okay, so we've got a little bit of excess here. We don't need that, so we'll move that over to the side. So now you're left with your 4-inch square that doesn't have those little pinched edges. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to just give it a quick little press here again. My little cord is coming off here. Don't want to iron the cord. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to come back here, and I'm just going to basically fold this over corner to corner. Okay, so you're going to fold that over corner to corner here. And then just check your edges. Make sure you're nice and straight. Just fold that down. Finger press it. Now you're working with the bias here, so be a little careful. I'm going to bring it over to my iron. I'm just going to give it a quick tap. I'm not swishing it around. I'm just tapping it with the heat. Just kind of help me hold it down. Because then I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it one more time. So fold this over. Okay, and this is going to give you that finished look on the prairie point. Use your fingers to kind of just smooth it down. Hold that just like that. So you have your little triangle here. Bring it over to your ironing board. Now we are not swishing. We are just putting it on our ironing board and just putting your iron right on top. Give it a little bit of pressure. You're not swishing around. This is not a car wash. You're not washing anything here. You're just hitting it with the iron. Let the iron do the work. It'll work through the fibers and pull everything into place. Okay, just a little bit of pressure to hold it down, and then just go ahead and take the iron off, and you'll have your nice little triangle there, okay? And it's going to be nice and flat. If you have a clapper, you can put the clapper down as well. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have a total of 5 of these, and that's going to be more than enough for me to do this little project. So just kind of think about how many you're going to need for your kitchen towel. This little towel is about, let's see, it is about 12 inches. So it's about 12 inches wide. And I'm just going to use 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use 5. You can probably get away with 4, but we'll use 5 of these here because I've got them made already. And so now I'm going to take my prairie points and we're going to start to lay them out. So I'm going to move this over here. And I'm going to lay out my prairie points. And you want to start off with the first 2 ends. So I'm going to lay them out here, and I'm going to lay them out. You're going to have 2 little areas. You're going to have your terry towel piece, and then you're going to see where you seam rip this open. Okay, I'm going to bump up the raw edge of my prairie points with that line right here. So I want it so when it turns over, I want it to kind of look like that. Okay. So in order to achieve that, you need to kind of put this points away from you, raw edge towards you, right? And then just kind of lay them out. So you want to start off with one on one end. I'm going to kind of do the other one on the other end. And then just fill in between. And now this will depend how much you want to space things out. You can use a ruler. So if you take your ruler, you can kind of measure how much overlap you want to have. But it's totally up to you. You can eyeball it if you want. I mean, it's really however you decide to do it. So one thing you do need to decide. You need to decide if all of them are going the same way. I get a little picky about it because I like to see my little fold here, where we folded the triangle right here. I want all my folds going the same way, but I also want the overlap going the same way. So you can see here, all of these, this one's on top, this one's on top, this one's on top, this one's not. And so I would change that to be that way. All right, so all of my folds in the same direction. This is not in the same direction, so I need to flip that. This fold is here, this fold is here, this fold is here, and this fold is here. So all my folds in the same direction. All of the points are overlapping the same way. So that just kind of gives it a nice, clean, polished look. If you're looking to sell these, that's something that you want to consider. Now, what are we doing next? Well, first thing you want to do is grab your pins. I'm going to grab that. And we're going to pin some of these down because I don't want them shifting around on me. But we're going to have to pin it this way because we're going to be folding this over. So grab this, and you can pin these down first and then fold it and repin, or you can just hold it with your hand. Just hold it with your fingers and then fold this piece of fabric right over it. And you want to make sure that your ends here are bumping up right against each other. So you're just bringing that over and doing a fold. And then just go ahead and pin that into place. Okay. So I've got my pins. I'm going to actually pin it this way. Makes it a little easier for me. And just try to make it so that it doesn't move around on you. If you're feeling that you have a gap, go back and check again. Make sure that it's bumped up, because what's important here is that they are all lined up. So sometimes it's a little easier to kind of pin this in place like this and then fold over, because then you know it's not going to move. But if you're looking to just do something really fast and easy, then you don't have to do it that way. It's just, you see how this can move very easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it anyway. I just want to keep that in place, because when you do that fold over, sometimes it will shift it just a little bit. And I want to make sure they stay nice and straight. You also want to make sure that your little ends here are not out here somewhere, okay? You want to make sure they are inside, so tucked away in there. So go ahead and line that up. Okay. And then you can see I've kind of moved this a little bit, so we want to make sure that these are kind of evenly spaced. And so it looks like it kind of shifted on me, so I'm going to just kind of rearrange this, just kind of scoot them over so that they look nice and evenly spaced. Okay? And then just pin that in place, and then we're going to pin one more here. Okay. So I think that is about right. And adjust just a tad more. Seems like this one moved a little bit forward on me. And just take your time on this one, because you want to get this part right. And just make sure that they're all lined up. There we go. Okay, I think that's where we want it to be. Where'd my pen go? Okay. Alright, so we've got this pin down, and then we're going to fold this over. And we're going to pin that in place. So you can take out your pin that you just did and just repin it, or you can just use another pin, whatever's easier for you. You just don't want it to shift. You want it to stay right there. And then we're going to bring this over to our sewing machine, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance to lock all of this into place. Okay. And you'll want to widen your stitch length to maybe 3.5 inches, because it is a lot of bulk on here. So you may want to have that, but don't go too big. I maybe will stick to maybe about a 3 actually. You don't want to go too big, because you want this to kind of really stay in place. And if you end up pulling and tugging on it, you don't want your stitches to pop on there. But it is a lot of bulk, so you don't want to do something too tight on there and as well. So let me move this over, and I'm going to bring my sewing machine over here. Whoops. Uh-oh, I just dropped my 1/4 inch foot somewhere, but that's okay. We'll just use the J foot. I'll grab it in a few. I'm sure I'm not going to roll over it. Oh, 1 minute tips is thanks. Oh, it's a super chat. Oh, thank you, 1 minute tips. Thanks, Nancy and Mr. H, for years of awesome content. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate it. really hope that I'm able to inspire you guys and kind of help you get some ideas. You know, some of you guys have like Etsy shops and craft shows, and you can do all that selling and stuff. So I hope I'm able to inspire you and give you some ideas to kind of help you out there. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let me see if we can get our sew cam up here. I think we're all lined up here. Let me kind of tilt you a little bit and get you more centered. Let's see, my little table legs are not down, so it looks like it's a little off, but okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to move this towards me, and I'm going to be changing my stitch length to a 3, and I'm going to go ahead and start here on the ends, and let me just adjust here for just a second. Here we go. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do about a 1/4 inch seam here. Doesn't have to be exact. It's just you want to grab those raw edges that are underneath where these prairie points are. And let me just grab a piece of fabric to kind of show you. I'll fold one up really quick, even though this one isn't. This one is not one that we did, but will be somewhat similar, a much bigger size. But what I want you guys to understand is you have your prairie points right underneath here. And the reason why we pinned it in place, because we don't want this shifting around. Because then when you sew it, you're not going to grab the prairie points. So you need your prairie points. You need that raw edge of the prairie point to be all the way on the bottom, so that when we flip this over, you know, you're capturing the prairie point underneath here as well as the towel. And then you're going to sew that into place. Okay. So let's do that. Let me just grab that here. And we're going to go ahead and drop our needle. Again, I'm using a 3 as my stitch length. And I'm going to go ahead and just sew that down. Now, I'm going to kind of skip the edge here, and I'll come back to that later. So I'm not too worried about that. And I'm getting towards my pins. I'm going to remove my pins, holding this down with my finger so it does not shift around on me. Again, removing the pins. I don't want to roll over my pins. I know some people do it though. Okay. Here we go. Close there. You can do so many different things. I mean, again, this is just prototype prairie points that I'm putting on here, but you can really make some nice ones. And then I'll just finish that off. So we'll lift up our needle, raise our presser foot, and go ahead and cut those threads. Okay, and then what we're going to do here, once we have these in place, if you kind of see, we still have this raw edge that we've got to deal with. We've got to tuck that right back into place. But we've got, if you kind of pull on here now, you'll see you've got your little prairie points. And you can see I kind of missed this a little bit here. So I'm going to tuck this in. And I'm going to re-sew right here. That's why it's important. See, I was struggling with this one, and it didn't stay in place, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a tuck, little roll here. I'm going to bring it back to our sewing machine and do just a little bit of a sew right in that area. So let's go back. So you can see this is pretty forgiving. It's not, you know, traumatic. If you miss it, you can always go back and just kind of do a little sew again. So let's try to bring this, and I'm going to do a little bit more than a 1/4 inch, but not so much that it is entirely noticeable. So we'll just drag that over just a tad. And I think we're good there. So stop that, lift that up, take this off. So even with pinning it, sometimes you can miss it. So All right, so now when I pull it, I see it yep, it picked up this area. Did I have another area? I had one more area that I totally missed. Totally missed this one, guys. We'll have to go back even further, just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little. So let's go back and kind of grab that. Because it's really important that those raw edges are picked up. And if you don't pick them up, you know, it'll just pull off. And you don't want that. So let's do that. Okay, I think I got it this time. Let's see. And you know, I'm using white thread just because it's easier for you guys to see it, but you definitely can just kind of pick whatever thread you want. Okay, it's not picking it up. I'm going to go ahead and grab my seam ripper and just pop these open just a tad. Apologies, guys. I think I must have shifted when I pinned that in place. I probably shifted a little bit. But no worries. We'll get it. This happens, right? We're live. We are live. We're doing this live. Things happen. And I'm going to try to just unpick just this little area and see if I can get away with just redoing just that section. So I'm just kind of unpicking my stitches. And thank goodness I did not do an extremely tight stitch, because then that would be really hard to kind of pick out, right? Okay, I've got my finger in here. Nope, I don't. I'm missing a stitch that I did not take off. So let's undo that one. And another one. I think I got it now. Did I? Okay, I'm going to have to see where this is so I can open it just a little bit more. So just kind of play around with it. If this happens to you, just unpick your stitches. Now, since I sewed it twice, I've got to take out 2. Right, so I'm just kind of reopening this. I thought I grabbed it the second time, but looks like it really shifted on me. So I'm going to just reopen that whole area. Let's see. I'm going to unpick a little bit from here. I prefer not to use a seam ripper this way, but it kind of works for me for right now. Okay, I think that we're good now. I'm opening up probably a little bit more than I need to, but I want to make sure that I get this in place this time. Okay. There we go. All right, so I opened this up right here in this area, as you can see here, and I got to re-tuck this in and just kind of push that in with my finger and then refold this. And I need to make sure that it stays in place, so maybe I'll put a little pin on that, just to make sure it stays. I think I got it this time. And so now we're just going to go over and sew just this little area here, and then we should be okay. So let's kind of go back, run back to this little area. And I'm going to try to line up my last stitch, which is kind of hard to see because the camera's in my way, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it. This is really just for me, my prototype, so I'm not too worried about it. And grab these out of the way, drop my needle, and let's kind of get that in. It's probably a little exaggerated on where I need to be. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and redo that. And you don't have to go all the way down, it's just that one little section. So let me just make sure I got it. Yep, looks like I got it this time. I guess I should just finish this piece up. Let me just do this one piece. Okay, I think we are back in business now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my threads. And let me just inspect, so just give it a little tug. And you want to make sure that all your prairie points are kind of picked up now. It looks like they are. So when you fold them over this way, this is what your finished look is going to look like. So we have, you know, the nice little terry towel here, and I can see all of my prairie points are in place, and I should not see any of that raw edge sticking out. So that's what you want. But now we still need to fix the back side here. And I'm not worried about all this because that's not going to be seen, because what I'm going to do now is, first of all, I can come over to my iron, and this will kind of help me. I'm going to bring this and I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to try to iron this down just a little bit. So just give it a little bit of a heat and just kind of come down the line. Not too much, just a little bit, just to help fold it over. Okay. And then we're going to flip this over, and we're going to deal with this raw edge here. Now we can just kind of fold it back, and you can still see that it has the crease that it had before. Just kind of fold that right back into place. And then just finish this off with a stitch right here. And that's why it's important to kind of use a thread. If you don't want your thread colors to show, just try to match up the thread color of your terry towel. I'm just using white so you guys can see what it is I'm doing here. But you definitely want to use a matching thread color. So now let's bring this back over. And you want to try to match up where your fold is, because you want it to be, see if I can grab the fold. There we go. You want it to be right on that edge. Okay. Maybe 1/8 of an inch off. You don't want it to show too much. Unless you're using some kind of a decorative stitch, then definitely you can do that. All right. So now let's bring this back over here. Make sure that this is nice and tucked. And I'm going to just flip it to the side so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we've got the back side of the towel facing you here. Now, this is a whole lot of bulk to deal with. I'm not even going to go here over my machine. I could use a seam jumper if you have one. That'll help you get into this bulk. Or you can just take a little hand needle and just do 1 or 2 little stitches right here just to hold that in place. Or you can just leave it open. It's not really like earth shattering. You can just leave that piece. It's not too bad. But if you wanted to really finish this and pinch this in, I would just do a hand needle. Do 1 or 2 stitches to hold it down. Okay. All right. So let's get to this because I know we're running out of time. And I'm just going to do about 1/8 of an inch. I'm trying to stay on the edge. Again, this is just to reinforce this right back down. So let's bring our needle down. We're just going to sew this right back up. Just go in here and tuck as I go. You can put your pins in to hold it in place. I've got little threads that are kind of distracting me all over the place here. Okay, here we go. Get myself back in place here. Tucking things in. Got a lot going on. There we go. It's getting a little better. Another little thread here. So there's going to be lots of little threads. Just tuck them in, or you can snip them off, whatever's easier for you. Trying to tuck in as much as I can so I don't have too much to snip off. There we go. And again, I'm towards that end, and yes, you can kind of sew it, but it is a lot of bulk, so I'm not going to go too crazy on that one. So let's go ahead and take that off and snip. Get my little snips here, which I forgot to bring out. Let's see. Where did my snips go? Here we go. Okay, so grab your little snips and cut off those threads. They'll kind of be everywhere unless you tuck them along the way. I tucked as much as I could. But you see, you have your nice clean finish now. And this is the back side. Okay. And then on the front side, you have your nice little points here. And it just gives it a little bit of color, you know, so it can spark up your kitchen here with a little bit of color. But imagine 4th of July, you can do red, white, and blue little prairie points, right? On maybe you have a white towel and you can do red and blue prairie points along the edge. That would be super cute. Or you can do any kind of holiday, so that will really kind of spice up your kitchen. So I think that is pretty neat. It's a cute little fun project. Didn't take much to do. And, you know, it's really nice. It's nice for you to just kind of change things up just a tad, don't you think? Alrighty. So let's go over to one of our final segments because I think we're running low on time. So let me give you the inspirational quote of the day. Okay, so today's quote of the day is, "Even the smallest scrap has a place in the masterpiece." And that kind of wraps it up perfectly for us because we are using little scraps of fabrics to do our little prairie points. And it just is really neat to do. It's, again, just a 4-inch square that you need. You know, you start off with your 5-inch charm pack square, and then just cut it down to 4 inches and do the folds and follow all the steps that we've done today. And you can definitely have your little prairie points on your towel. I mean, how cute is that? Just to make things just a little bit different. Okay, I'm sorry. We've got one more segment to get to you, and let's do our comedy top 5 because today's Friday and we got to get our giggle on, don't we? All right, so for our top comedy 5, we've got "If my quilting ruler could talk, it would say," and let's go with number 5. "One more late night quilting binge and I'm out." I think they're getting a little demanding, those rulers, aren't they? All right, number 4. "If my quilting ruler could talk, it would say, don't act shocked when the line's not straight." Yeah, I guess that happened a couple of times, right? All right. Number 3. "If my quilting ruler could talk, it would say, I'd help more if you stopped using me upside down." Yeah, we've had those tired, long nights, right? Maybe it was upside down a couple of times. All right, number 2. "My quilting ruler could talk, it would say, no, your ruler didn't move, you did." Yeah, that was me. Uh-huh. Alrighty. And I think we're on number 1. Yes. "If my quilting ruler could talk, it would say," number 1 thing it would say is, "I need a vacation from this craft room." Oh no. I don't know if my talking rulers are saying that. I don't know if you guys have talking rulers telling you that too, but no, you're not taking a vacation. We love to be in our craft rooms, don't we? Alrighty, I hope you guys really enjoyed that, and I put a little bit of a giggle in your morning this morning. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. For those of you who are able to attend, I will be on tomorrow for our Saturday Crafternoon show, and I hope you guys really enjoy your weekend and have a wonderful time. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.